You truly don't realize how early we are regarding XRP and Ripple. There have been several. There is a simple explanation for all of this, guys. We are so much earlier than you. People often ask why we haven't seen utility take over the cryptocurrency market, why main coins are taking off, and why things with actual utility solving actual problems in our financial system are lagging. In this movie, I intend to demonstrate to you how young we actually are and how many of the topics we discuss on this channel are being developed behind the scenes for the biggest organizations, and they're simply not prepared for it there. But perhaps after viewing this film you will see how we really are, guys, and I want to demonstrate how Ripple envisions the XRP ledger fitting into the long-term financial system. This film will be crucial in assisting you in comprehending the value of the asset. Again, I really appreciate your support. I want to thank everyone for this channel who spends time like the kinds of videos and become a channel subscriber for these two things to have true significance. One of the things I hear all the time is, hey, Ripple's partnering with this bank in a big way, or hey, Ripple's working with this organization to send money. Hey, this is being worked on by Ripple. Why central bank is the price of XRP stagnant? I think that this video is accurate. This will be the closest thing available. You will receive a comprehensive response. That's precisely why it hasn't been observed price appreciation yet, and I don't want to give anything away because I think it's important for you to hear David Schwartz express this for himself. However, the fact that we are so much older than people realize in institutions today is the reason we haven't seen it or only now beginning to use this technology, and I think it's difficult for people to realize that you and I figured this out before most people on the planet. Institutions, on the other hand, are only now beginning to realize how powerful this technology is and how they can incorporate these systems into their current products. We simply figured this out before most of them saw it. From an investment standpoint, they did not fully comprehend the utility, and as a result, we are seated here wondering why people aren't utilizing and embracing this technology. The simple truth of the issue is that we were just so much earlier. We are witnessing the adoption of these meme coins, but not things like Ripple and XRP. Then most people realize. I genuinely think that this technology can totally transform the financial system and everything we do correctly. Now that blockchain technology is set to completely upend the current financial system, we have understood this from the beginning. However, the institutions controlling the assets, power, and current rails are only now realizing that this technology is about to upend the entire system. And guys, the last thing we're waiting for is to fall for this entire change. Regulations are necessary for this to really occur. I think those rules are appropriate around the band. I think the institutions now know exactly what is required of them for them to remain pertinent to this next generation financial system, and I believe it is becoming increasingly evident that the blockchains on which you and I maintain assets such as XRP on the XRP ledger will play a crucial role in this new financial system. Guys, I want you to listen to David Schwartz discuss these exact topics for the remainder of the video, and I really urge you to do so until the very end, as you will, after seeing the entire film, you will have a clear grasp of our position. Ripple wants to bring about this entire change, and you will see why it is their job to collaborate with the big organizations to implement these technologies has been the right strategy from the beginning and will stay the right strategy when we enter the phases of widespread adoption. Never have I been more certain that this technology will play a major role in completely changing the financial system, and that XRP and the XRP ledgers will play a pivotal role in this regard to the overall change. Pay attention to this enterprise acceptance, which in my opinion lays the path for retail adoption. Based on your knowledge from the last 2 years, it appears that this is what will happen. Thus, I believe the next 10 are your vision. Stablecoin enterprise products such as real-world asset tokenization are aware of real estate in commercial loans, but these foster day ecosystems with features like yielding ways to manage your finances, strategies for holding the assets you wish to hold. Right now, there's no difference between popular culture and online culture. There is no difference between popular culture and online culture. With blockchain technology, we are witnessing the emergence of institutional projects that enable decentralized ecosystems on the network, turning stable currency into a viable means of reaching a wider audience. Adoption is a real thing. According to 97% of institutional investors, tokenization will have a big impact on asset management. They don't use Bitcoin. Who doesn't defy blockchain and cryptocurrency? INC enthusiasts are not what they are. Institutional investors are. These are among the most conservative people now believe that the technology we are developing will change their industry, which will have an impact on popular culture. Entering these areas only makes sense if the assets are where the money and investors are going to be. That is, if the day and tokenized spaces are where the money is going to be. It seems logical that the assets will pursue the funds we have available to develop the technology that the market demands. The most important thing we want is to create a product that meets market desires, enterprise projects that are compliant but that draw users into blockchains. That's the difference between the traditional institutional adoption that we've seen and the sort of institutional adoption that we've seen with stablecoins. If enterprises use the XRP ledger primarily for payments, that's great. That's not a bad thing, but that won't bring their customers onto the XRP ledger. If they use it to launch tokenized loans, that will bring the people who are going to fund those loans and who want to return them to the ledger. A stablecoin is likely one of the most regulated goods in the cryptocurrency market. Companies like Circle and the upcoming Ripple stablecoin will undoubtedly have highly regulated products. Yes, the majority of us will never be able to redeem a stablecoin with its issuer or obtain a stablecoin directly from the issuer, but millions of others do. Who knows what jurisdiction will allow someone to retain us? Thus can the upcoming Ripple stablecoin, even if they will be part of a genuine day ecosystem. That's the change over the last year in a few weeks, but in those recent weeks Ripple X David Schwartz in particular have brought attention to the specifics in several interviews. This is more than merely Ripple X in terms of their goal and roadmap. This is all there is to Ripple, but if we can achieve those 4 goals, we will have the basis for an institutional-grade blockchain with the XRP ledger serving as the leader in these institutional day applications. Our goal is not to provide regulated products, rather we want to allow true day ecosystems through regulated products. There's no reason to operate an island on a public blockchain without connectivity. In my opinion, token holders will be able to perform such action on the back end if there is no difference between starting on a private blockchain and a public blockchain, and the same individuals hold the asset but hold tokens instead and receive the same returns. It will make it all the more interesting and use it for the same purposes. That's not fascinating. There's no reason to do that. However, you can use the token as collateral for a loan. There may be something you can do with it on the other side that you wouldn't be able to do without a person who can. As you are aware, it is unavailable inside their jurisdiction or they are unable to comply with the KKML criteria. The reason Circle doesn't launch USB is evident. It would be worthless in a private ledger. Am I right? It's what makes the day ecosystem possible. That's it. It's the ability to obtain a return on investment and utilize it is collateral for loans. Knowing the extra return lets you know the most appealing aspect of those institutional use cases will be the ability to create those kinds of ecosystems. This is in contrast to, for instance, enterprise payments, where an enterprise utilizes XRP to settle payments with its clients aren't blockchain users, but the consumers of these apps and DeFi apps. The ones who own the tokens are blockchain and day users, which is why I believe that route to widespread use. The indisputable evidence, in my opinion, is that stablecoins like Tether and USC are as institutional as they get while still being what's why are these entirely decentralized economies growing? I believe you at this point. It is undeniable that institutional adoption will facilitate grassroots adoption and vice versa. I believe that the thing we were too early about when we were attempting to get institutions to use blockchains for their payments wasn't going to get their customers on board. For example, if your bank uses, let's say, XRP block, I believe that people were dubious about it at first, but the evidence now seems indisputable but it wouldn't mean that everything would need to be regulated. I believe that people were unaware that it was similar to Ors can obtain a loan or a stablecoin. The most obvious example of this is that Ripple's vision is to have day applications on decentralized censorship-resistant blockchains like the XRP ledger. Can also have institutional participants that can meet their regulatory requirements and have meaningful interoperability between those two ecosystems. However, on the back end there is a token that represents ownership, interest, or collateralization against those that are completely decentralized. That's how we see that now. One instance of it is the stable coin about which we declared it to be regulated compliant. It's given to clients of individual who go through YC and AML procedures, but after that it ends up in the hands of automated market makers or individuals who hold it but aren't clients of RIP connected to the triple in any way. It allows for a kind of decentralized ecosystem that links back to the world of regulatory compliance. We see this happening with rear wall asset tokenization, and we see that happening with on-chain lending. All of these applications where institutions and sort of grassroots adoption can grow together, and the reason I believe the key factor that makes fascinating ecosystems thrive is the synergy between enterprise and grassroots adoption, which spark the creation of the internet. Therefore, genuine institutional adoption is required. That'll be the driving force behind, say, institutional acceptance. Even though some of our clients use stablecoins or XRP for payments, Ripple's institutional acceptance is evident in the fact that these customers are not brought onto the blockchain. Although that's positive, it really isn't. That doesn't actually accelerate the mass advertising option. Instead, real-world assets might be tokenized in such a way that if tokenized real-world assets exist, if a loan occurs, let's assume that you're thinking, you know what, I have with this money that I don't have a good way to invest. When you come across traffic financing to lend right now, I must first register as a blockchain user. You are presently using a blockchain. Thus, if widespread adoption is to occur, organizations that are integrating blockchain technology into their clientele are essential. Am I correct? Currently using blockchain? Correct. You have now become a blockchain user. That's why for blockchain technology to be widely used, institutions that are integrating blockchain technology into their clientele are necessary. That's how things will get messed up, right? If you wish to purchase something from Amazon, you can do it online. You make use of the internet. You wish to use TwitterNet as a provider. If you use the internet, you have to start using the internet. You know you want to utilize everything on it, and suddenly you're the target of everyone. Promote these used cases. These are the cases I have been discussing. Get the clients to use the blockchain are what we believe have the potential to turn the corner and pave the way for actual mass adoption, and I find that intriguing indeed. In the last year or so, HSBC, for instance, has really begun to discuss tokenized gold, in my opinion, and not just the way I want it to be. Fantastic. If there wasn't anything akin to them, they act as though they are devoted. Small businesses find it quite difficult to navigate regulatory hurdles when it comes to the product, but the good thing about these, some strategies say things like, yeah, it's a heavy lift stable coin launch, but Ripple does it and everyone can use it. Yes, tokenizing real-world assets for financial goods is a laborious process, but once it's done, anyone can use it. That excites me. Therefore, I'm feeling much more hopeful than usual that the acceleration toward widespread adoption will be observed. I believe that we all wish